Alright, so what's up guys? Right now it is Sunday. I don't know if you guys can see that. It is Sunday. It is the night before market open, before I start my trading week. I just wanted to show you guys, going off of the end of last week's video where I took a loss on Friday. I want to show you what I'm going to be doing to sort of protect myself going into this week. And pretty much what it is setting goals for my trading week. And I used to do this when I was working to becoming profitable, and this is a huge thing that helped change my trading, was setting goals for the week. And mistakes I made last week or issues I've been having, setting those goals, writing them down so I can see them every morning really does make the change. And me setting that 1 2 3 4 so I can check it off the end of the week, it's like a little habit tracker sort of idea, where this really does make a big change for a lot of people, is literally writing down what you need to do. Don't just write, follow my rules, don't take stupid trades. I need to write down exactly what I did wrong. So, by following the rules, I know to follow my rules. I'm not an idiot. Don't execute in ranges. Keep Discord closed. Reasoning again for the ranges is I take losses in ranges. And number two, the reason to keeping Discord closed is when there's noise, when I see other people winning, when I get other people's opinions on trades, that's when everything goes wrong for me. That's when I start, not trading my data. I start trading others. No DLL, no targets. When there's no targets, it links to part one, the execution, the range part. I can't trade if there's no quality targets, and the same thing with emotions. It really is the same, but I just really need to make sure I don't have any emotions at all. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, so it is now Tuesday night. I did not record Monday since I didn't take any trades. I wasn't really confident in any moves Monday. It was an extremely choppy day. We did end up getting a crazy displacing candle. So I'll show you guys what Monday was. It was pretty much this right over here. So on the 5 minute on Monday, if I can zoom out, okay, bam. So this was Monday's price action, and the reason I did not take any trades. So Monday, I was looking for longs higher, and we did end up edging a target higher, and we ended up dumping about, around 100 points in 5 minutes. And this was a pretty strong dump. It was pretty much the end of the 5 minute candle we ended up dumping through. So after I saw this 5 minute candle, I was like, okay, I want to see some follow through to shorts, lower targets right over here. We had some targets lower, and we got absolutely no follow through for most of the session, where we end up just retracing, buying back up into the 5 minute gap and just chopping around this area. So after we were chopping around over here, I was like, okay, I don't see any follow through. If we just got this ridiculous amount of volume through this one candle, I want to see us literally have a tiny retrace and then displace lower again, which we did not get. And as you see, if I was to even scale, I don't even want to scale lower, but you can see literally price it absolutely nothing. Delivery was terrible. It was extremely wicky. So even if I was able to catch entry anywhere around here, I would have got break even, because we literally just ran a bit and then wicked higher, ran a bit and wicked higher. So everything was a break even. But let me tell you guys about today. Today was honestly one of my most emotional trading days I've had in maybe, I don't even know, like 5 months or something like that. I haven't felt this amount of rage and like unprofitable thoughts in so long. So pretty much going into the day, I had targets lower and higher. We end up tapping into a massive 30-minute gap. Pretty much that was my condition, was this gap. Do we hold it or displace through? If we displace through, I'll look to target lower. But what happened? We end up tapping into the gap and starting to flip out. Now, my idea was I didn't like taking any of the earlier entries, like this 5 minute close right over here. I didn't like the idea of taking the first 5 minute candle, because we end up closing back into the range. And if you look on the higher time frames, we are pretty much just ranging. Well, that's all we've been doing really on the higher time frames, is higher time frame range. So pretty much just trying to play highs, swing lows, stuff like that. So yeah. So on my entry, I did not like taking, I wasn't anywhere like interested anywhere taking entries in this area over here. I wasn't interested in any entries here, because it was just pretty much in the range. So what I end up doing when we're in a range, I'll scale to a time frame that looks clear to me, and really sink that in. I'll enter on a time frame that looks clean to me, and the cleanest, highest time frame, or the lowest time frame to me that looked the cleanest, was the 15 minute. So I was looking to take an idea, something like this. It was pretty much like a 1.4 hour trade to the next set of highs. I would have went break even somewhere over here. Now, maybe 2 minutes before 15-minute candle close, we were closing somewhere around this area. So like, okay, cool, I'm going to get my entry. And then literally the last minute of the candle, we end up pumping higher. So I was like, okay, yeah, this idea is pretty much fried, because, dude, what am I playing here? Let's like, this is the most negative 0.3 R of a trade.
So I was not going to risk on that trade. And I was completely okay with the fact that I missed my entry. I was a little bummed out I missed my entry, it truly was. But there's not much I can do. I set a condition, I set where I want to enter, it wasn't met. Now let me show you guys where my emotions really started to kick in. So we obviously end up sweeping out the high, obviously super clear. We create a massive 5-minute gap. Now I was thinking, okay, maybe we tap into this gap and continue to the next set of highs. And that's exactly what pretty much happened. So we tap into the gap, boom. We get a good reaction out. I was like, okay, nice. This is where I'm going to enter. I'm setting my entry right over here, stop loss at pretty much the body of the candle. Don't really need it down here since I don't care. If we tap back into the gap, it's pretty much invalid since we're playing a massive gap, a massive stop. This is 65 points. It's a pretty big stop. So I am obviously giving my trade room to breathe. I was going to target this set of highs. I will close this target over here. Since we took this draw out, my break even would obviously be the internal high. This is where I want to enter. Now let me explain this. I enter the trade. I get closed out immediately. Oh, I made the biggest mistake of my life. It was the most stupid mistake too. I entered on one of my follower accounts. So I am copy trading a bunch of accounts right now, and I entered on the wrong account. When you enter on the wrong account, your trade gets automatically closed out. So once I realized my mistake, price was pretty much running somewhere over here. And that's where I was like, okay, so what do I do from here? I started rushing. I literally rushed on my trade copier, set the right account, logged out of the wrong account, logged back into the right account. And then I thought to myself, what am I doing? I'm honestly starting to chase into price because I started, my heart started racing. I started panicking. I'm like, no way, I'm going to miss this entry. This is just such an obvious entry. I wanted this trade. I was waiting for this trade. So I told myself, hold on. I took a step back. I'm kind of rushing into this trade. Why am I trying to force this? And I realized this is where I used to cook myself back to back to back. Months when I was unprofitable, blowing through accounts, was okay. I would hesitate on an entry and I start chasing in a price. Now I obviously didn't hesitate on the entry. I literally took the entry on one of my accounts. But what do I do? This is where my tendencies came back into play, where I was like starting to get ready to chase. I was getting ready to chase in a price. So I just honestly closed out. I locked all my accounts out. I took a step back and I realized, it's not worth me, trying to chase price to just catch a fucking trade, because there's so many trading days in the year. I always have another trading day. But yeah, unfortunately, the trade did end up playing out sooner or later. It did end up taking a little while chopping around. I probably would have trailed, honestly, right above here. So I would have called like 1.6 R. But if I did end up holding the trade, it would have played out. And yeah, so that is how I honestly had one of my most emotional trading days in the longest time. I'm not going to lie to you guys. When you are profitable, or once you do start getting payouts, the unprofitable thoughts and ideas are never going to leave your head. You're always going to want to long when you see a massive candle. You're always going to feel FOMO. You're always going to feel some kind of stupid, unprofitable idea. But the trick to, consistency in trading is understanding that these emotions are always going to come into play. When I feel these emotions, what do? I always take a step back, assess, am I thinking logically data driven, or am I just thinking through pure emotions? And once I realize I'm thinking only through emotions as I was today, I just log out and take the day off, because it's not worth me trying to catch some sort of trade, trying to find some sort of mid entry when I know I missed my entry that I wanted. There's no point in me risking on that day anymore.
Okay, so it is Wednesday now. We ended up taking a loss today, which it honestly does suck, but it was honestly one of my first, we'll say, systemic losses in quite a while. I took a loss today, which was honestly not that avoidable of a trade. It was a really good trade, but it just didn't end up playing out, which, it is what it is. But yeah, here is the trade that I ended up taking today. It was literally a 5-minute retrace with draws higher. I mean, you guys have seen me post many times on my TikTok, on YouTube, on everything. Trades like this I take, and I would take 2 trades like this a week ago, and they both went, they played out. So I was hoping at least I would get a break even on this trade, but that didn't end up happening. So what happened today? Price ended up ripping up absolutely hard right from market opening, ripped like fucking 200 points. And then we did have draws higher, so I was looking for a continuation higher after we got some sort of retrace. I wasn't able to find any retrace here, and honestly, it does make sense. We had a lot of volume. We're not going to get any sort of retrace. So I took this right here, and as I said, 5-minute continuation higher. Obviously, got a good flip out of the gap. I had my stop right at the pretty much middle of this gap. So it was a higher risk to reward trade, and I should, just accept the fact that higher risk to reward trades are going to have a lower win rate. And I'm okay with that because I honestly did really like this trade. Obviously clean, we tapped into the gap, held it, reacted out strong. This one candle invalidated almost 3 minutes of, this 5-minute candle invalidated 15 minutes of price action. So to me, that was a good sign that maybe we had at least go to my break-even point. But that didn't happen. And honestly, if you do look on the higher time frames, one of the reasons it didn't play out was honestly price was really overextended all throughout. Since yesterday, price was trending higher and higher. So maybe we did need to get a little deeper retrace, but I guess not, because we literally did end up ripping after at Asia session. And yeah, ended up taking the loss, got off. And I know it was a systemic loss for one reason. The fact was, when I took the loss, I didn't really know why I lost. I was really sitting there with myself for like 10-15 minutes thinking, I was trying to find a reason why I lost, and the only reason I really could have come up with was that price was really overextended. But I mean, it was still a really good retrace. It was a deep retrace, even though price was really overextended. But yeah, we took the loss. Some people were online saying, I saw people on Discord that also took the loss. They were saying that Trump tweeted something about Iran. But honestly, I don't think a Trump tweet causes you to take this loss, because it wasn't like price dumped some ridiculous amount of points. And I think that's honestly just some coat people are using. But yeah, we end up taking the loss. It is what it is. It was a good loss to take since I didn't do anything wrong in the trade, in a sense. But yeah, we'll see what tomorrow lays for us. All right, chat. So it has been quite a minute since I picked up the camera. I haven't recorded anything since Wednesday, I believe, but it is now Friday. It's Friday, 4:45, so pretty much market's closed. We ended up getting 2 break evens. I got break even on Thursday on a 1-minute continuation, and break even today. And honestly, both of the trades were okay. They weren't the greatest trades. I did like the draws, and we obviously did have volume in both the trades. But honestly, just delivery wasn't there, and that is completely okay. And so here, I'm going to go over pretty much the Thursday trade. So at market open, we ended up absolutely ripping lower, and oh my god, dude, this is still so frustrating to watch. I marked out my targets wrong. I had this new day opening gap marked out wrong. If I was on the 1 minute, so if you see here, let me show you guys. On the 5 minute, you mark like right over here. This wick is the same on the 5 and the 15 minute, the new day opening gap. But oh my god, I completely forgot the fact that we open at 6 p.m. So you see how I failed to mark the open gap? I marked it on the high of the new week opening gap, which was the 5-minute close. We ended up opening, I think it was down here or here. Anyways, if I was to see where the gap actually was placed, so I missed the gap by, like you can see, about 5 points. I had it marked right at the top. It's supposed to be like the mid wick of it. What I failed to see was that pre-market, we ended up taking out London highs. We tapped into the gap by like 2 points and instantly rejected. So my bias should have been shorts. I should have been bearish on the day, but I was extremely bullish because I was like, oh my god, dude, new week opening gap got judged by like 2 points or something. So when I was watching this dump, I was like, dude, what is going on? So my idea then was, I was still bearish. So I was like, okay, we'll probably tap into this 30-minute gap, hold it, and then flip out. So when I see that we didn't do that, I was so confused to myself. I was like, what is going on? Why aren't we, flipping bullish? But whatever, I missed that. And then honestly, after that entire move, I wasn't confident in shorts anymore because we did have a massive fucking 1 hour and a 4 hour gap to short to. And I wasn't interested in taking any shorts in this gap. So what my idea then was, I was just sitting there watching price, seeing what do we do. And pretty much at the bottom, let me mark this out. So I had to watch about 2 hours of price action play out. Yeah, pretty much 2 hours. 400 points later to finally see if I can get an entry. So we clearly closed through the 4 hour, and we're closing through 2 4 hour gaps. We have this 4 hour low right over here and this hourly low here. I thought that these were some pretty good targets right here and this one right over here. So
I was okay. If I can maybe catch some sort of retrace, then I am interested in taking shorts. And that's where I got this entry right over here. And you can see, so we tap into a 3-minute gap and instantly react lower. This one candle, the reason I entered this and I had full conviction was we had a 56-point candle on the 1-minute time frame. This 1-minute candle invalidated all this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about 5 to 6 minutes of price action got invalidated by one candle. And when I was going to enter this trade, I understood that this was most likely going to be a break even, because my break even point was literally, how much was this away? It was 0.2 R away. Usually you want to play a break even around 0.5 R to 1 R away. But I had a really tight break even. So I went to this trade understanding that most likely I will get break even. And that's exactly what happened. We closed through my break even with decent volume. I think I was up. So yeah, we were about half an R when when I trailed to break even, which is okay. I was just bidding on the fact that if we got a 60-point candle lower, I hope that we continue flushing to this last low. But that last low never did, or I think it did get taken out, but it wasn't anything too confirmed. Oh. Played some candles to see. Yeah, okay, so whatever. I don't think that low ever got taken out, so honestly, it just wasn't the greatest to target. But yeah, we got break even Thursday, and I'll show you guys what I took today. And then this was today's trade. So going into New York AM session, a lot of people were leaning bearish, but I wasn't bearish at all, because after we swept this low out, we really don't have any more targets. The only targets were, again, the same targets I had yesterday, and we took out the target that I finally did mark out that I got break even on yesterday. And honestly, these targets here all look just like a rejection wicks to me. I don't think these will get taken out unless we got some ridiculous amount of volume. So my idea today was I wanted to see price sweep these lows out and hopefully get some sort of reversal to these targets here. And the reason I love those targets so much was because they were equal highs to an untapped 4-hour gap. So higher, we had an unfilled 4-hour with obviously 2 equal highs. So honestly, when we have equal highs, that's an extremely strong draw. And that's where I had my bias going into the day. We ended up sweeping it out. And this is somewhere where I ended up going to look for my entry. Oh yeah, okay. So we got one flip. Okay, I'm just going to play this out and no stop because I don't want to keep wasting time. All right, so boom. We ended up sweeping the low out. We got a flip higher. And that's exactly, so I had this idea going to market open. I want to see a V-shaped flip higher to my unfilled 4-hour gap. So there were a bunch of entries I was thinking of taking here. I thought of taking this 5-minute candle close, but if I took this 5-minute, my stop would have been almost like 100 points to the wick. Yeah, I would have had an 108-point stop, which is honestly ridiculous. Trying to risk an 100-point stop on a Friday. I just wasn't comfortable doing that. So I just waited for us to get a more safer, tighter entry. So I decided to scale on the 1-minute to see if I can catch some sort of continuation. And there was this entry right over here, which I wanted to take. But I'll be so honest with you guys, I was taking a shit when that entry happened. So I wasn't on the charts. So bam, we get another 1-minute retrace. This is where I enter. Break even was over here. Same thing as we have a pretty high R trade on a Friday, the last trading week of the month. So I wasn't expecting much from this trade. I know a higher R trade, they have higher chances of getting break even or going for a loss. So I was completely okay with that. And we ended up getting break even on the trade. And thank God I got out of this shit early and I didn't decide to keep holding, because look what happens for the rest of the day. I would have literally got edged, continue getting edged, and just hold through chop for what? We never ended up delivering to the targets. And it all makes sense because it is Friday, the last trading day of the month. I can't expect much. Honestly, I shouldn't have probably even went risking on the day, knowing everything that is. I don't want to take a loss on the last week and the last trading day of the month. So simple break evens. And I just want to go back to you guys and show you guys my goals that I had set out for this week. And I can confidently say that we achieved every single one of these goals. Was not to execute in a range. There was not a single trade I took where it was in a clear range. Yes, the higher time frame was ranging, but that's not really like a range. I'm not going to consider that much of a range because we are day trading. I'm not holding through multiple days where a higher time frame range is a big deal to me. We kept Discord closed. There was no outside noise. I was not trading when there were no targets. I obviously had decent targets to trade towards, and there were no emotions. So every single one of these goals were met. I can happily say that I'm ending the week positive. Even though I end up taking a loss on the week, we're still ending positive because we followed our rules. And I can also show you guys this right over here. So I don't want to show too much of that, but pretty much I just have a habit tracker where I like to track every single day if I followed my rules. So I have this habit tracker for daily, and then I have a habit tracker for weekly. And these two things literally almost make it impossible for me to act stupid with my trading. Just make sure that I'm super consistent. And this is just what works for me. This is what helped me turn from blowing many accounts, from taking trades which weren't aligning my model, just to pure FOMO, and just sticking to my strategy. And just to finalize the video, so I just want to give a recap of the trading month of February. We ended up getting no payouts this month, and I am completely okay with that because I needed to honestly take a step back and just, kind of understand and realize how good of a month I still had, even though we did not get any payouts or any hard return from trading. I had two of my biggest back-to-back months in the month of December 2025 and January 2026. Those were two of my highest paying months I've ever had, and they were literally back-to-back where we pretty much did the exact same payout amount across both months. And I was able to, bless my family with the money I obviously made by giving them gifts I could never imagine I would able to be to. And honestly, I just need to accept that not every single month is going to be going skying high up, rising up. Not every single month am I going to beat my payout record, achieve every single month. That's just honestly highly unrealistic. And I've experienced that urge to chase that payout every single month, like a couple months back, where every single month I would just honestly every single day wake up and just chase a payout. My mindset would be, okay, we need to take a win today. We need to take a winning trade. We need to get a winning day at least to secure some sort of payout. And I used to blow through accounts, destroy my psychology with that kind of mindset, because I'd get somewhere to like the halfway mark of the month, realize, holy shit, I'm nowhere close to a payout. I don't even have like a winning day. And then I just start trading super aggressively, completely forget what my trading model is, and just throw everything out the window and only care about making profits on that day, which is honestly the most stupid thing you can do, obviously, right? I should never be going into a day thinking I need to maximize my profits today. That's just going to fuck me up every single time. And obviously it did, because I went broke from after getting payouts through March and April. I blew all that money in 2-3 months with that mindset of I need to make more money the next month. I need to get a payout. That's not what I need to focus on as a trader. What I need to focus on is I need to wake up every day and tell myself, I'm going to follow my rules today. I'm only trading when my conditions are met. I'm only taking setups that make sense to me. And that's what I've been doing this month of February, where we had 2 losses. One of them was completely avoidable. It was a stupid trade. But the second one was my first ever systemic loss. And man, I don't even know how long. I can't even tell you the last time we took a loss that was honestly pretty much unavoidable and just an unfortunate trade. But yeah, I'm honestly really grateful for the opportunity that I have right now. I have been scaling my trading through February, trying to get as many accounts, as much allocation as I can to hopefully set myself up for more payouts. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm honestly happy where I am right now. So if you guys did like this video, please join my Discord, link in bio. All my social medias are down there as well. If you guys have any questions, my Discord is in my bio. I'm in there all the time. You can ask me any questions. I'll be glad to answer it. See you guys.